to talk to you guys over the weekend, but I just literally been so busy over the weekend focusing on like my family, my huge event that I have coming up on Saturday. I just been so busy, but I thought about something yesterday and I want to just tell you guys, tell you all about it. And what I thought about was how we can fix our credit, but sometimes a lot of people I see that we gotta go back and do it again. And at some point, I just feel like we gotta know better. Like, that's one thing I'm just thinking about. Like, we gotta know better. If you know that certain things are harming you, like, we have to stop doing the same things over and over again. And it's in life, but I really want to make sure we focus these things around credit. And if you take it and run with it with your life too, that's even better. And a few things I want to let you guys know about is mainly these credit cards. If you know these credit cards are harming you in terms of you're gonna spend more money than you need to spend, you're not always disciplined, do not get in the habit of using it. The reason why they don't start you off with a $10,000 or a $20,000 credit card is because they know that you're not responsible enough for that yet. That's all it is. They just know that you're not responsible enough for that. And that's why they start you off with these $300 credit cards, these $500 credit cards. One of my clients said she started with a $200 credit card, and I started off with that same thing too. But that's why they start you off with that limit, because they want to see how responsible you are. So at some point, we got to know better that, okay, they're giving us this money, but we have to pay it back. If you guys are holding balances on your credit card, this is not how they intend people that's responsible to use their credit. They intend for you to use your credit card and pay it back in full. That's really what you should do. That they don't want you to technically, because they want to make interest off of you. But if you are very responsible, you're not desperate. That's my biggest thing. You're not desperate to the point where you have to hold a balance on here. You have no choice. You only can pay the minimum. If you guys are in that space, then you guys are being looked at as you're not responsible. So to be responsible, you guys, we got to make sure that we paying off our credit cards, and don't even use some on your credit. Don't even use any money on your credit cards if you know that you don't have the means to pay that money back. If you know that you cannot pay your money back, do not use that credit card. Like, period. Don't do it, y'all. That's the thing. And I'm seeing that I'm trying to teach you guys, get you guys in the habit of just doing that anyway. When I say rotate your credit cards, you just pay your statement balance by your due date. It's gonna get to the point where you don't have the money to not use your credit card again, so you pay by the due date, but you might max it out or you may use it again. That's fine, because at least you not getting charged any interest, right? You paying your statement balance by your due date. But you're gonna get to the point where you don't have to go back and use that credit card, and then now you don't owe that money on that credit card. That's how you guys are going to be. But if you guys have to rotate your credit cards, rotate your credit cards. I was just looking at a client and I'm like, oh my gosh, she really ready to buy. You just got to really pay down your credit cards. And it's not that she had a lot on her credit. She used a lot on her credit cards, but you got to think about it. If they only gave you $1,000 to use, if you guys use, you know, more than, I would say, if you guys use more than 29% or 20% of it, then you guys are hurting your credit. Okay, and when I say using more than that, that means that if you got $1,000, if you use more than $200, or I would say even $280, if you more than $280 on $1,000, you guys are not necessarily building your credit. You're like hurting your credit. Okay, and I always tell people, if you got $1,000 credit card, to have the best credit score as possible, especially when you're trying to go buy a car, you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to get some more credit cards, you really need to have that credit card at like $50 most as a balance. And that's just being honest. And I told you guys that, again, rotate these credit cards. If you have to pay it off and then wait till they report to the credit bureaus and then use the credit card again, that's fine. But don't let them report a high balance on your credit cards, because all that is doing is hurting your credit score. And another thing I was thinking about on this topic with these credit cards, because there's more things too, but this is, to me, is the most important thing, because it took me a while to understand this, and now I live by it. I was talking to the client earlier, and she was telling me how I was like, hey, what bills can you use to pay with your credit card? And she was like, well, I don't have enough money on my credit card. So she basically used her debit card to pay her bills. And I'm like, no, stop doing that. you know that what you're doing is you're paying the interest on these credit cards to these companies when you technically can pay off your full bill on your credit card. Say if it's $500, $1,000, whatever it is, you can pay off your full bill on one of your credit cards. Pick one. I prefer one with cash back. Pay that full credit card off. But when it's time to pay your bills, like let them report to the credit bureaus. When it's time to pay your bills, use your credit card to pay your bills. I can use my credit card to give me some food, to grocery shop. I can use my credit card. I can use that on my phone bills, internet, gas, all this stuff that you technically is going to be using your debit card with. Use your credit card for that. And I said, okay, you got $1,000 credit card. Say if you're gonna use all that $1,000 to pay your bill, pay that credit card off, because you're gonna use your debit card anyway. Pay it off, let them report to the credit bureaus. Usually you'll know that they're reporting because they'll say, hey, your new statement is out, because whatever is on your statement is what they reporting to the credit bureaus. So once they let you know you got this new statement out, then that's when you can use your credit card. I wouldn't care if you max it out, but just make sure that by the time your due date come back around, you pay it all off. And this right here, when you guys do that, pay your statement balance by your due date, you no longer gonna be charged interest. Like, I don't pay interest on my credit cards no more. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to pay interest on my credit cards. And I recently showed you guys how I did that with my Apple, because Apple was like, hey, you only need to pay $25 on this credit card. And I'm like, no, what's my statement balance? Okay, my statement balance is $400 some. That's what I'm paying, because you're not going to charge me interest. And they clearly say, if you pay this amount, you're going to get charged interest. If you pay this amount, you're going to get charged interest. But if you pay this full amount, which is what you owe from last month, we're not going to charge you any interest, because they charge you interest on basically not paying your full bill, paying your statement. So make sure you guys are just paying your statement, and then you'll never have this problem. And just know better. That's at some point we gotta know better. Like, just pay your statement balance by your due date. That's it. Statement balance by the due date. Statement balance by the due date. If you guys just do that, you guys will be good in terms of never having to pay interest. So that's first off. And another thing, if you guys know better, you can do better. If y'all have extra money, it's overheated. I guess it is what it is. We're in Florida, it's hot. Like, what do you expect? But this is my last thing I want to tell you guys. If you guys have, I hope this not too loud. Let me turn this down. If you guys have extra money, and you guys know you guys have additional debts there, please think about putting that money on that debt. Don't think about this as extra money that you can spend it on a trip, going somewhere, or just buying something that you really don't need. Use your extra money to get you ahead. Like, at some point we got to know better to do better. Don't think, oh, I just came into some money, I had an extra $1,000, I'm gonna go and do this and that. Knowing you got credit cards you ain't pay off, you got some collections on your credit reports that you could technically possibly even settle, because you probably haven't even tried to get the account deleted. And if you tried to get the account deleted, everything is coming back accurate, then maybe you need to settle it, because some of them accounts will remove it from your credit reports. You know, these are different things that we all need to think about, and at some point we got to know better to do better. Like, and these are the things that I'm like teaching my daughter. And like, when stuff comes to my mind like this, because I'm really on my daughter right now, because she's 14, she's about to start college, she's gonna have her full college degree, she's on my credit cards. I need her to understand this stuff right now, and I need her to not mess up to have to fix it. Like, if you mess up, I want it to be something else. And right now she's like, she used my American Express credit card as her own credit card, so she already know, okay, my bill is due. And I let her know, hey, you instead of having money in your account and using she was using Cash App so much, instead of using Cash App, use that credit card. So now she already know, okay, I need to pay my bill, this is what my statement balance is, I need to pay it by, I think it's doing like the 7th or something like that. She already starting to know these different things, and I want us to know it too. And she like, well, mine can't. I said, you want to go here? And I said, do you want to go out to lunch? Because she's homeschooled. Like, let's go out to lunch. Like, let's not sit in the house, get dressed, let's really go out to lunch. And she's like, only if you paying, because I have to make sure I pay this bill and that bill. And I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's good. Because she got like small subscriptions too. You got to think about it. At her age, she has like small things that she's paying, but it just shows that these are the disciplines that I think that we were not taught at home, but we got to teach them to ourselves, and we got to punish ourselves too. Like, if we don't do what we need to do, we need to punish ourselves. And anytime you guys get some extra money, please put it, like I said, towards your credit card, to put it towards some debt or something like that to push you ahead, move you ahead. Just do not be in that same cycle. If you guys can just stop the cycle of doing the same thing over and over again and not getting it, that would be amazing. Because our kids are going to catch, they're going to catch that too. They're going to know, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Just imagine if I wasn't teaching my daughter about credit cards right now and putting her on my credit card and making her use like the American Express as her own. I don't even use that card anymore. That's like your credit card. This is, you know, you need to know the full bill on it, and all of that. Imagine if, you know, she didn't have that, she'd be making the same mistakes. But the point that a lot of people, that people are driving crazy over here, I see it, but a lot of people, the point that a lot of people weren't taught this, and we still have to teach this to ourselves, is something that's very, very important. So just look down, just look at your habits right now, figure out what you're doing. Are you always getting paid, and when you go get paid, you're using your debit card, you're not thinking about paying off your credit card, they're using your credit card for expenses? Are you holding balances on your credit cards and not paying a full statement balance by the due date? So every month they charge you 10, 20. Shoot, I remember at one point I had so many credit cards, they was charging me hundreds of dollars in interest, and I'm like, why am I not, like, how am I paying $300 on my credit card and only, you know, $25 or $50 going towards the actual bill, the rest of it going in their pocket? And I realized that I did not fully understand credit at that time, and it was some changes that I had to make. So please, you guys, make these different changes, and I swear life would be so much easier. Just make sure we don't do the same things, and we know what's hurting us. The person I was talking to earlier too, she's like, you know what slipped me up, and she said the afterpay. I never got in a cycle of afterpay. But think about it like that. Are you, I can think of, when she said afterpay, I thought about my Amazon credit card. When I want to buy something, I'm like, okay, I can buy it on Amazon, and then I make sure I hit $50 so that I can do like the 0% APR for 6 months. I make sure I hit these certain targets, but it's kind of a cycle, because it's like you always keeping a balance on your Amazon credit card. It's no point that you don't have a balance on this credit card. Like, it's a means to an end. It does not end at all. Like, at all. And I realized that could be that afterpay cycle. You think, oh, I got more money, let me put this on afterpay, and you constantly just paying and paying it and paying it. And then some people get tripped up to the point where they're not able to pay it, and then that's going to be a poor cycle. So just really, like, just study yourself and figure out what cycles you're in. And like, when I make little videos like this, just think about it, like, okay, I can see what she's talking about with me, and just go on, because I can see it with myself. Like, I just pointed my Amazon, like, dude, I'll be so happy to have my 0%. I'm just thinking, oh, let me get some on Amazon, and then don't let me have to get something expensive that's going to be more than $250, because I'm not going to pay interest for 12 months, and that's going to entice me to even spend that extra money. But if I had to take that money right out of my account, I probably wouldn't do it. So just see where you guys are spending your money at, and then, you know, just make those necessary changes. Like I said, if y'all get any extra money, think about paying off those debts. Start rotating those credit cards, paying off your credit cards, and then using your credit cards to pay your energy bill, your phone bill, whatever, your gas, whatever you have to pay with it. But don't use your debit card when you have a credit card that you can fully pay off, to stop them from charging you interest. And if you guys need more information about that, please let me know. I'll be happy to go like into greater details about that. I know I made a video before about it, but you know, y'all don't see all the videos, and I make a lot of videos. Y'all got a lot to watch. Like, you know, you really do honestly have a lot to watch. So let me know if y'all want me to go over that topic again. I'll be happy to go over it. And remember, I may have older videos talking about certain topics, but it may be newer ways of me doing things now. Like, I used to promote Kickoff so much. I do not see Kickoff reporting like they supposed to right now. I see it only on some bureaus, not all bureaus. It's just not what it was. So now I wouldn't tell people to go a certain route with Kickoff. So things change over time. So definitely let me know if you want me to make you a video on that. Like rotating your credit cards to stop paying interest on them. Like, I'd be happy to make it, because that's one of the biggest things that changed my life, because I thought cash back was sweet, but just imagine them not charging you interest plus you get the cash back. It's like an extra bonus, and that interest is way more than you will ever get in your cash back, because these credit cards out here are like 30% interest. Like, it's a lot of money. So please keep this in mind, you guys, and I'll see you guys later on. I hope that you guys have a great day, and I hope that whatever you're working on, like, it come true, and you stay focused, because if you stay focused on this, most likely going to come true. Like, whatever you want, you're going to be able to get it. I'll see you guys